Call me crazy. Even though the latest Power Rangers film was not perfect by any means, it really could have led to something great had it been given a chance. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, Nerd Fam? This is your boy Gashawn. I want to welcome you to Enter the Nerd. So today I want to talk to you about, if you haven't guessed it, Power Rangers, specifically the Power Rangers movie that came out not too long ago, a couple years ago. So it was a while, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe more. Now, the thing about this movie that I really want to talk about is what it could have been. Now, I don't know how old you are, whoever's watching this. Now, I'm going to be 31 this year. So obviously, I was a kid when Mighty Morphin came out here. Now, I've watched all the Sentais that preceded it and followed it. And obviously, Power Rangers in Japan is vastly different than what it is here. It's taken seriously. People curse. Even some of the Rangers die, right? Now, in this particular movie, obviously, most of it was done with them out of costume. They only transformed once, had that one battle. And that was due to budget because they kept taking the budget away from them during production. But I couldn't help but think, what could that movie have been had they just let it be what it was? It could honestly be just as expansive as what we see in the MCU. Maybe not with a whole bunch of separate characters, but it could have been the Mighty Morphin. Then it could have literally just gone to Zeo and maybe even Turbo, just like that. And literally had a rotating cast of Rangers exactly like the show. Now, what I liked about this movie was that it did take things seriously. One of the Rangers did die, right? And they even put him on the autism spectrum, which was interesting to do, but it didn't mess up the story. It just kind of added more heart to the character, which is cool. Which what made it even more sad when he wound up being the one that drowning, I believe, and that was R.J. Seiler, who played that part pretty well. Now, all those guys are relative unknowns, which is fine at the time. And do I wish that maybe they would have had some people who could really do martial arts, at least invest more? And I guess that's a budget, right? They didn't give them enough money to do choreography and stuff like that. But obviously, had they, this could have been very, very good. And even the way they ended it with the whole, Tommy Oliver, roll call thing in the class, and then turning around and seeing the green jacket, could have been really, really cool. So like, I'm kind of like mourning what could have been, especially because I saw this again recently, and I'm like, wow, why didn't they believe in this? Because it's not like they aren't still releasing, the American, port overs of the Sentais now. They still are doing it, and they're doing like all these like Forever Red and they're bringing back like the older Rangers to come in these new seasons. So clearly they know there's an audience for this, and I get it. I don't think I'm not sure how many young people are watching. I think my son is relatively interested in it. Now he's getting more interested in like live action stuff, but I tried to get him to it when he was younger, and he kind of liked it when they were morphing, but then as soon as they were talking to real people, he was like, I don't really care about it. So let's see. There could be hope for him in the future, right? But I think there was a lot to go off of, and at least you could have got 3 to 4 movies out of it if you do this right and have a nice little rotating cast and don't skimp on the budget. And honestly, the story could truly evolve, especially if you put real stakes into it. I even like the little change they did when they made like Zordon the Red Ranger and Rita was actually the original Green Ranger. Like, I actually thought that was a cool change. That was actually kind of creative because it actually made sense. So once again, like normally I'm a person who's like, I have to stick to source material. But if there are changes and they're good like that, why not? And for those of you that don't know, Mighty Morphin, the original series, was really like a combination of like 3 of the Sentais, which is why Mighty Morphin was so long when it first came out. And that's why you saw like the Ninja, the Thunder Zords, and the White Ranger, which wasn't even from the same series, a whole different series where I believe that Ranger in Japanese was a little kid who transformed into like an adult whenever he transformed into the White Ranger. So a lot of cool stuff. Obviously, a lot of these, and you already know, like Jason goes away, and do they have to do the whole like Adam Rocky thing where there's like 2 different Red Rangers? They didn't. They probably won't have to do that. But when they go into the whole Zeo thing, they could probably explain why some of them leave and stuff like that. They could have done that. That's just me. This is just the inner Power Ranger fan wanting stuff like this. And yes, if you're wondering from a person who would go to like Mighty Morphicon and meet these people, absolutely. What I did think was funny is, and I wish they would have done it. I wish they would have just made RJ Styler the Black Ranger. I know they were scared. They were like, damn, we're gonna make the black guy the Black Ranger. Maybe that might not go over well right now. And it is what it is. It is what it is, right? At least they didn't have him, dancing around or whatever. But even though that was a cool part of the character, I think I like the Black Ranger, even though the Red Ranger was my favorite growing up, just because he was like the muscle head, you know what I mean? But yeah, honestly, that's kind of like my thoughts on it. Let me know. Are you even a fan of Power Rangers? Have you outgrown it? I understand. I haven't. I'm an 8-year-old still on the inside, right? I'm more of a Super Sentai guy. I don't really like the American. What they do over here is a bit cringy. It is a lot better in the Japanese version. But let me know. Did you watch that film? What did you think about it? Were you as disappointed as I was when they just cut it short and didn't even bother even attempting to make a higher budgeted sequel? Let me know what you think. Into the Nerd.